Hi, this is Atmir with the cryptocurrencies review here on Share Talk for Sunday, the 4th of April. So on to Bitcoin to start, and here we've got a rising trend channel, the channel in place since the end of October last year. That resistance line projection at the top of the channel now promising us a target as high as 76,000, which could be hit as soon as the end of this month. Clearly the issue in the near term, though, is that we need an end of day close through 60,000, which was failed at over the last few sessions. The good news, I suppose, is that at least while we're above the floor of the channel, that's around the 54,000 level, we are still on target and on cue for a break of 60,000. But if you are cautious, you might want to wait for that particular level to break on a daily or even, I suppose, a weekly close basis. On to Ethereum, which, according to some, has overtaken Bitcoin a bit in terms of the fundamentals backing its rise. Here we've got a nice little bull flag forming at and above previous resistance there at $2,041. Above that on an end of day close basis, looking towards 2,800 as soon as the end of this month, given the way that we've got such a great setup there with the broken 50-day moving average, broken line of resistance there from February at 1825. Etc., etc. At this stage, I suppose, if you're looking for a stop loss, you'd use the last peak for this market around 1944. That was the mid-March peak as a stop loss, but really it looks as though we'll remain above that old peak of back in February 2041, and above that should head quite directly towards 2,800 over the next few weeks. On to Ripple, which has almost rehabilitated itself after the rather nasty events of November, December in terms of the price action. There was almost always a decent risk-reward punt for people to go in near the 20 cents level, but that's all history now. Now, at the moment, we're trying to grapple with post-crash resistance around the 60 cents level, looking for a decent end-of-day or weekly close above 60 cents to give us a top of November price channel target as high as 85 cents, which would finally get this market on a par with the other leading cryptos at the moment. On to Chainlink, and here you can see that we've had a nice bounce off the 50-day moving average at $29. Above that, looking for a break of $31, $32, which is post-March resistance, and the big target here as high as $48 at that November resistance line projection. That could be seen, I suppose, as soon as the end of next month. If we're really lucky at the end of this month, but probably a more sensible time frame would be to say $48 by the end of May. In terms of the stop loss, the support line there from the turn of the year around $26, and while we're above that on an end of day close basis, still very much looking towards that technical target near 50. Moving along to a market which has been doing increasingly well over recent sessions. A nice key reversal to the upside today, i.e. breaking yesterday's 266.80 peak. We need an end of day close above that to classify it as a key reversal up to the upside, which we may or may not get. But if we do get that, and anyway over the next few sessions, if we can clear the mid 260s, then we're looking for a top of August 2020 price channel target as high as $325 by the end of this month. A stop loss quite convenient, I suppose, an end of day close back below today's bear trap, initial bear trap low at $247 for Monero. On to Binance next, which is echoing what we're seeing at Monero, and I suppose many of the other cryptos. We've got that mid-March peak there around $315 above that on an end of day close basis, looking towards the top of a rising trend channel from January's high as $530. $315 also today's intraday low, so everything tying up quite nicely. The upside valid while there's no end of day close back below $315. Moving along to Polkadot, which has broken to new all-time highs, as the crypto enthusiasts have already pointed out to us on many occasions in the last 24 hours. Here we've got a rising trend channel that's been in place since mid-November. Resistance line projection there pointing to $55. That should be seen as soon as the end of this month, while there's no end of day close back below today's intraday floor at $40, and that ties in with the old February peak at 42. So above the $40 area, looking for 55 over the next few weeks. Next situation is Cardano, which I suppose in a way is less bright and breezy than the other markets we've looked at, or most of the other markets we've looked at today. Nevertheless, we've got support there at $1.10. We've got more support there at 97 cents, but unlikely, I suppose, to remain below the 50-day line and $1.10 for any significant period of time. If you are cautious, then maybe you'd wait for a break or an end-of-day close above $1.28, which is the late March resistance. But basically, this looks like a market where you're buying on dips towards $1.10, stop loss just below it, and then targeting as high as $2 plus by the end of next month. On to the next situation here, which is Stellar. Probably one of the less sprightly performers of the recent past. It's still way off the high that we had in February there at 60 cents plus. But we have bounced quite well over recent sessions the last couple of weeks off the uptrend line there from December. That's nominally now at 42 cents, and while there's no end-of-day close back below, let's call it the 40 cents area, we should rehabilitate ourselves in terms of a retest of the 60 cent zone as soon as the end of this month. If you're cautious, which you might very well be, then wait for an end-of-day close through the initial April resistance, just shy of 47 cents, before assuming a fresh leg to the upside. On to some new names here for the cryptocurrency sweep that we do. First is Uniswap, where there's a rising trend channel on the daily chart from November. Price channel there looking as though it's heading towards $43, which could be hit as soon as the end of next month. We had that peak yesterday around $32.40, so maybe want to see an end-of-day close through that before we target $42 by the end of the next month. In fact, the quicker we get through 32, the more likely it is that $42 could be delivered even by as soon as the end of this month. If you're a fan of this market, looking for a bit more than 42, then there is a resistance line projection from back in January, which is promising us a target towards the $60 to $65 area. But let's see how we do with $42 over the next few weeks first. In terms of the downside, at this stage, only really back below $25, and the late March support area really delaying the upside scenario. Going on to Holo, which is one hell of a chart at the moment. A beautiful vertical move, accelerating move to the upside. The real question here is, though, where is the top of that rising trend channel? The guess here is that it's up towards 0.065, and that could be hit as soon as the end of next month, or judging by the way things are going at the moment, by the end of this month. The last peak there for this market around the 0.22 area, and while we're above that on an end-of-day close basis, 0.022 rather, looking towards that 0.06 cents peak over the next 1 to 2 months, I suppose, given the current rate of progress, but looking very strong indeed. On to NEO, not quite as strong, but still pretty impressive. Here it's again a toying within the range of the old peak from February. That was around $55, and the mid-March peak around $48, but at least while we're above 48. Looking towards the top of that rising trend channel, which is on the daily chart from as long ago as July. That's promising as a target as high as $77 or $78 by the end of May for NEO. So a very constructive picture there for that particular market. Finishing off today with another micro crypto, if that's the right thing to say. Maybe altcoin is better, but here we've got Tron. Great vertical move here, echoing what we've seen at Uniswap. The trading point at the moment, I suppose, is that old peak from the end of last day of last month, around 0.094. Above that, we're looking towards that resistance line projection from at the end of July last year, as high as 0.2, well, I suppose actually 0.23 cents over the next 1 to 2 months, so ideally by the end of May. So plenty to shoot for there at Tron at the moment. That's it for me today. We'll catch up on these markets very soon.